Trump releasing a bunch of like, or the government really releasing a bunch of like trash. That's what it looks like to me, a bunch of trash. But sorry, I'm trying to get out of this parking space here. But yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense, man. Like, I'm not saying the whole thing is fake, because the government likes to one of the best ways of misinformation is to flood the zone. Right, that's what they like to do. They like to flood the zone with a combination of fake and real news, right? And they release real things, but they also release a bunch of crazy nonsense. And they do that for several reasons. Number one is that they try to just put out, like, humans can't really deal with that much information that quick. You know, they have to like filter it, or at least you should filter it, and you should like analyze it, and come out with an educated conclusion of whether it's real or not. And when you flood the zone like that, when you put out a bunch of bullshit mixed with some truths and some half-truths, and then some really crazy exaggerated things, what ends up happening is that the people that put the word out there, because they put the word out there, right? And then somebody comes up to you and they say, aliens are raping everybody, and everybody's been raped by aliens, or something like that. And the earth is flat, and aliens are demons or whatever. And what happens is, most people, or at least half of the people of the population, are going to be like, these people are crazy. These people are insane. You know? And then what happens to the truth is that it's flushed away with all the bullshit. Right? And bullshit, it's a video that I saw a while back about I think it was a little girl, a little boy, who said bullshit. But anyways, but yeah, it's like that. That's what they do. Okay, it's a classic tactic of the government when they want to send us on a wild goose chase and discredit the smart people that are finding the truth within the lies. Because there is people out there that actually know how to decipher these things and be like, okay, this is the truth right here, and all of this other shit is fake, right? And that's part of the reason why I think what's his name, Alex Jones is an agent of the government. Now, I don't want to say what exactly, even though if I do name the organization, they won't be able to do much right now. But even then, I don't know who I'm messing with, because they're so, like, right now, this organization is not as strong as it used to be. So if I name it, it might not be as bad as it is. And plus, I'm not that famous. I'm just a guy, If I was super famous, or at least kind of famous, it would be bad, because they take me out, bro. Like, they take me out easy, like immediately, boom, bam, right? Next thing you know, he committed suicide or whatever, or he got a heart attack. Like, the heart attack, suicide, I'm not saying that nobody gets heart attacks and nobody gets suicide, right? Nobody does that. But when it's a lot of scientists that all worked in the same laboratory or some shit like that, it's like, bro, yeah, nah, you got to start looking at it, you know? But, but yeah, so what do we believe and what don't we believe? Well, when I'm looking at a lot of these things, right, some of the most fantastical things that are on there have been debunked. All right, even before this was released. And they did that on purpose because they want people to throw the whole thing away. You know what I mean? They want people to just forget about it, stop talking about it. And so they put something on there that's obviously been debunked years ago by like Reddit or something like that. I forgot exactly who debunked it. And, you know, when you see something like that, most people are going to log off. Most people are going to be like, hey, it's all fake. You know, but me, since I know how the government works and I know how they you know, mix things up, truth with lies, in order to lead people down the wrong road. I know that there's some real things. There's some real actual evidence within these files. And those are the real ones that they want. They don't want us to get. Now, some of y'all are going to be like, okay, but why would they do that? Why would they just keep it secret? There's nothing that ever stays secret, guys. Okay, nothing ever stays secret. That's a rule, fundamental rule of nature. And it's fundamental rule of this existence that we live in. No matter how much you try to hide things, the truth always comes out. And so what they do, what the government does, is since they know that this is going to happen, since they know that people are going to leak things, since they know that humans can't help but to talk about things, is they slowly release certain things, but not everything, and they mix it up with lies, and like I said, like I told you already, because they know that they can't hold the truth, right? They can't hide the truth. And so, but what I do know is that the government is working on an agenda, you know, and it's very similar to what they've been doing for a long time. You know, if you notice something about these aliens that they're talking about and the different races or whatever, you'll notice that it's very Saturday morning cartoonish. You know, it's very much like what you would see in a Saturday morning cartoon. It's just the bad guys are ugly, you know, they're weird. They usually come in darker tones like the grays, you know. They usually resemble some kind of animal that we think is scary. And these are all things that humans design in characters because we're innately scared of certain things, like lizards and people that are too pale because they mean that they're dead, right? Lizards, right? We've always hated lizards. Humans, you know, we don't have a good history with reptilians, with reptiles. Like crocodiles used to eat us, snakes used to bite us, and serpents used to coil us and break our bones and then eat us. So you think about that, of course we're gonna hate. You know, as humans, we're going to develop a fear for reptiles. And this is why I believe a lot of designs of bad guys are lizards, snakes, you know, stuff like that. And so when I see a lot of this quote-unquote lore for the aliens, and I see that there's the tall whites, and those guys are the good guys. And then you got the Nordics, and those guys are definitely the good guys, right? But the grays, the short, darker ones, they're either slaves, according to the alien lore. They're either slaves, brainless slaves that do the bidding for the tall white ones, or They're just bad. They're just bad people. They're bad hombres. And I start to look at this and start to think about it. I'm like, bro, like, this is just human shit. This is American human creativity making this shit up. Why? Because what's the difference between this is just think about it, guys. Like, how convenient is it that white people are still in charge in space? Think about that. Like, who would make something like that? The answer is white people. That's the answer, guys. The answer is white people, because they've always done that. You know, they turned Jesus white when we all know he's not white. That's the first thing they did, is turn him into a white guy. You know what I mean? So we know that these governments, like, of the world are obsessed with pushing that agenda, pushing the white agenda. And so when I see this being put on us, even in this alien things, so what do you think I'm going to think? Who do you think I'm going to think is behind this? But the same people that have been pushing white supremacy on us for the longest, and that's the Catholic Church, right? That's pretty much every government of the world, including the United States, right? Everybody that's in charge, they want us to believe that the whites are the good guys. Look at the way they draw Jesus. Look at the way they draw the angels. Look at the way they draw God. It's almost like whoever is the prince of this world wants us to see a certain archetype as the good guys. Right? Why is that? Why would he be trying to do that? Why would he be trying to make us believe that the good guys are really the bad guys and the bad guys are really the good guys?